distribution. So the distribution, so consider this is the second stage of pharmacokinetic study. So once a drug is absorbed into the bloodstream, so that blood flows into our targets to the tissues or organs which are having some fluids. So that blood need to reach the tissues or peripheral areas of our body. So that movement is reversible. So that reversible movement of a drug from a bloodstream or systemic circulation to a tissue or an organ or to an peripheral area, that is considered as distribution. So this distribution is the drug need to be carried through the blood from the systemic circulation to the tissue area or to the organs which require to be treated. So that process we call it as distribution. It is a reversible movement of a drug from systemic circulation to an tissue system. So that distribution of the drug need to be distributed to the target areas through the blood. That is considered as distribution. It is a second stage of pharmacokinetic study. How the body is going to respond to the drug. That is considered as pharmacokinetic study. In that process, this is the second stage. How the drug is going to be distributed from the systemic circulation to the tissue or the target where it is required. It is a reversible part. It is a reversible movement. The drug come back into the circulation. So depending upon the drug, the time of the drug to show its effect on the target. So based on that, the distribution will be seen. So we also have some factors affecting this distribution. So before that, what do you mean by this volume of distribution? So this distribution of the drug can be measured by this thing, volume of distribution, which is indicated by VD. So this VD is a formula to find the distribution of the drug, amount of the drug in the body by plasma drug concentration. So how much amount of drug is distributed can be find out by this volume of distribution of the drug. Means by calculating the amount of drug in the body. So the amount of the drug distributed in the body by plasma drug concentration. How much drug retained in the systemic circulation, means that is blood, which is made up of plasma serum. So this plasma drug concentration should also be calculated. So the amount of the drug in the body distributed should be calculated. In the same way, the amount of drug retained or present in the plasma of a blood of a body should also be calculated. So based on these calculations, we can find out the volume of distribution. How much volume of the drug is distributed in a body of a living organism. So that is the measure to find out the distribution of a drug by measuring the amount of drug distributed in the body and the amount of drug present in the plasma of a blood of a body. So this is the VD. So high volume of distribution indicates more distribution. Low volume of distribution indicates less amount of drug is distributed. So high VD and low VD means high volume of distribution, low volume of distribution. High volume of distribution indicates the amount of drug is distributed more, and low volume of distribution indicates the amount of drug is not distributed more, it is more retained in the bloodstream. That is, plasma drug concentration will be more than amount of drug in the body. So that is high VD, that is measured by high, that is measured by the value high VD and low VD, high volume of distribution and low volume of distribution. So why the drug is retained in the bloodstream? So we have so many factors. As we discussed, the same factors as that of in the absorption, we have some similar factors like physicochemical properties of the drug, that is lipid solubility. When a drug is more lipid soluble, it is distributed more. Because the lipid body is made up of mainly the lipid layers, the drug need to be soluble in the lipids. So when a drug is more lipid soluble, it will be distributed more. It will be distributed more. Less lipid soluble, less distribution of the drug. This is one of the physicochemical property of a drug affecting the distribution of a drug. The same way, ionization. Ionization, the same way as that of absorption, unionized or unbound part of the drug will be distributed more fast than bounded or ionized part. Ions are less distributed than non-ions. Our unionized part will be more distributed, more absorbed and more distributed. Next is molecular size. The same way, the less size will be distributed more than large size. Less size will be distributed more than large size. So what is the large size drugs will do? So sometimes this large size of the drugs may accumulate in some areas, in some specific areas of tissues. So because of that accumulation, so distribution of the drug will be decreased because of that accumulation in a specific areas. So they can come back to the circulation more fast and it can show its action very slow. So its action will be prolonged in a very slow process when a large size of drug is administered. So this when large size of drug is administered, it is absorbed very slow and it may cause accumulation in a specific areas of a tissues. So because of that accumulation, some part of the drug can reverse back into the bloodstream and it can show its effect very slow by prolonging its effect. By prolonged time, it can show its effect slowly. So the distribution will also be affected by size of the drugs administered. And other than these, blood perfusion. Blood perfusion. So the more blood flow, the more distribution. Less blood flow, less distribution. So the more blood flow to the target area or blood perfusion to the target tissues, the more the drug will be distributed. So less blood flow or blood perfusion to the areas or targeted areas, less drug distribution. So the more blood flow areas in our body are mainly brain, heart, kidneys, etc. So these are all the areas which have high blood perfusion or high blood flow. So to that areas, the drug will reach or distribute very fast than other tissues in our body. So the blood perfusion should be more to get the drug to be absorbed or distributed very fast. This is another factor which is affecting the distribution. And the other is plasma protein binding. Other factor is plasma protein binding. So as we all know, blood is made up of plasma and serum. So this plasma contains some proteins which have this binding nature. So these proteins, generally drugs are in the form of acids or bases. So acidic form of drugs will be binding to the one type of protein present in the plasma, that is albumin. So albumin is a protein which have a binding nature in the plasma to attract or bind to the acidic form of the drugs. The same way glycoproteins. Alpha-1 glycoproteins are the proteins present in the plasma which have a binding nature to the basic type of drugs. So the drugs which are of acidic type will bind to the albumin proteins. The drugs which are basic type or bases in nature will bind to this alpha-1 glycoprotein present in the plasma. So availability of these proteins in the plasma, so these drugs will bind to that proteins. So because of that plasma protein binding nature, the drug availability will be less. So the unbound drugs will only get distributed. So the bound drugs will act as a reservoir. So this, when a drug is administered, when it is in acidic form, it will be binded to the albumin protein present in the plasma. When a drug is administered, when it is in a basic form, it will be binding to the alpha-1 glycoprotein type of proteins present in the plasma. So we also have this binded portion. Along with that, we also have unbound portion of the drug. So this unbound portion of the drug or free part of the drug will be distributed very fast. What about this bounded or binded part? So this binded part will act as an reservoir. When a blood flow is low or a blood perfusion to the less to the target. So in that system, in that type, this binded part of the plasma proteins will act as a reservoir. So this plasma proteins will act as a reservoir by binding some part of the drugs based on their nature. So whenever it is required, it will release the drug. Whenever it is required, it will release the drug. So consider we'll store water in a tank, we'll use whenever it is required. In the same way, the drugs when are administered based on their nature, they will be binded to the specific type of proteins present in the plasma. They are acting as a reservoir. So the whenever the unbound part is not available, so this bounded part will release the drug slowly to reach the target or to treat the illness. So that is the effect of plasma protein binding on distribution of a drug. So more plasma protein binding, less distribution when it is required very fast. So the unbound part will be moving to the target or distributed very well to reach the target, but bounded part will be distributed very slow, or it is acting as a reservoir to release the drug whenever it is required. Generally, some drugs are formulated by in the form of controlled release systems. So this controlled release system means the release of the drug will be controlled. Whenever it is required, it will release the drug. So they are formulated for some type of drugs. So some type of drugs are required this type of binding to release the drug when and where required. So that is one type of system is controlled release formulation. So that is one type of formulation which is following the same way. Generally, it is a natural process, but controlled release formulations also follow the same way. They will release the drug in a controlled way when and where it is required. So this effect of this plasma proteins are on the drugs is they are acting as a reservoir and they will release the drug when and where it is required. This is one of the factor affecting the distribution of the drug. And so we have discussed about the measure of distribution of the drug by volume of distribution, high volume of distribution, low volume of distribution, etc. So other than this, we also have some barriers. As we discussed earlier, we have blood-testis barrier, placental barrier, blood-brain barrier. So all type of drugs cannot enter into the brain easily. So they have some barriers. That barrier we call it as blood-brain barrier. Only highly lipid soluble drugs can only cross this barrier. Highly lipid soluble. Highly lipid soluble drugs can only cross this blood-brain barrier. Blood-brain barrier. So highly lipid soluble drugs can only cross this barrier. Less lipid soluble or water soluble cannot cross this barrier. Means the brain is restricting the movement of the drugs into the brain area by placing this barrier. So any drug need to cross this barrier to enter into the brain. So only highly lipid soluble drugs can only cross this barrier and enter into the brain. So generally drugs which are acting on the brain like antidepressants, stimulants, hallucinogens, antipsychotic drugs. So these are all the drugs which can cross the blood-brain barrier easily because they are highly lipid soluble in nature. And other factor is means these barriers can also limit the distribution of the drug. So these barriers can also limit or stop or decrease the distribution of a drug. One of the barrier is blood-brain barrier and other is placental barrier. As we all know, this is a barrier between the mother and the child. So this barrier between the mother and the child also limit the distribution of the drug to enter into the child. Consider a mother is taking a drug to treat a disease or to treat an abnormal condition, that the drug, if required, it will cross that barrier to enter into the child when a child is present in the mother womb. So that placental barrier will also limit the distribution of the drug to enter into the fetal blood. So this barrier is one of the factor which is limiting the distribution of the drug between the mother and the fetal blood. So this barrier is main for maintaining the between the mother and the child, means maintaining the distribution of the drug. So all drugs need not to be distributed or absorbed into the fetal blood. So they require only some drugs. So if mother is taking high drugs, means that drug is not required for the fetal. So that drugs will stop at that barrier. This barrier will stop the drug movement into the fetal blood. So that barrier, will call it as placental barrier. This is one of the factor to limit the distribution of the drug. And other is blood testis barrier. Blood testis barrier. So as the name indicates, it is a barrier at the testis, present in the testis. So not all the drugs can move into the testis to reach the spermatids or spermatocytes. Only few drugs can reach that area because of this barrier. So this testis have a barrier which makes the drugs, only few drugs, to enter into that area of testis to reach the spermatocytes or spermatids. So not all the drugs cannot cross that barrier to reach that area. So this is another barrier which is limiting the distribution of the drugs. So all these barriers limits the distribution of the drugs distribution to the target areas. So it may have some advantages or disadvantages. So because of this barrier, as the distribution is limiting, so it may cause some drugs may show advantages and some drugs effect may have disadvantages. Some drugs are required to cross that barrier to show the target area, to reach the target area. So these barriers are limiting. So in that case, it is these are acting as a disadvantage. It is a one of the disadvantage. So but in some cases they are showing the advantage, means all the drugs cannot reach the target. So that area will be safe, and in that case these barriers are acting as an are becoming an advantage. So these are the barriers which limit the distribution of the drugs. It is one of the factor which is affecting the distribution of the drug.